So the topic of toxic masculinity has invaded American culture via social media and entertainment. I would say probably over the last 4 or 5 years. And what started during the Me Too movement um, as basically calling out, I would say, just rude behavior of men towards women. Case in point, Harvey Weinstein and the predatory behavior of Hollywood's casting couch. That's now kind of all accelerated into an all-out war on, I think, what is basically uniquely and traditionally masculine traits. As a young conservative woman, what does toxic masculinity mean to you, and do you think it's a real threat to our culture?
Well, I think people are a little bit confused as to what toxic masculinity is because you can have toxic masculinity as well as toxic femininity, frankly. Um, but, it's blown out of proportions. And there are certain cases, like you mentioned with Harvey Weinstein, where there are bad men who do genuinely bad things. But that doesn't mean that we need to go on a witch hunt against every man who embodies any sort of masculine traits. I feel like women had this little opportunity that they saw, and they went, some extreme women, and they went and they took that opportunity and they are running with it. Kind of in a way that, it takes any ounce of power away from men that you can take away. It's kind of a topic I've been exploring a little bit lately in writing about gynocracy, and how, it's a little different from matriarchy. I wouldn't say we live in a matriarchal society,
Mhm.
but we are definitely falling into gynocentric and gynocratic order,
Hmm.
which is not productive for us. And when you reduce the amount of strong men in the world, you're going to start to see problems.
Yeah, it used to be about being equal. That's the
Mhm.
way when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s. I remember my mom and my aunt. My mom was, I'm a product of a single mom. These were strong women, and all they wanted was equality. And that seems to be not enough anymore, which is strange to me. The other thing is, um, I remember when some of this toxic masculinity stuff was taking shape on the internet with women getting catcalled,
Mhm.
and I used to think to myself, "What's wrong with that?" I mean, it's just like when a man is told that he's handsome. I think that anytime someone, whether regardless of the sex, is told that they look good, and I guess that can be in different formats, somebody whistling at you or just saying you're handsome. I just think to myself, are we getting overly sensitive, and can we just take a joke and just sort of relax a little bit?
Right. And men actually, to that point, have a natural biological inclination towards objectifying women. There's this thing in it's through evolutionary psychology. There's this thing in men's brains where they happen to accidentally see women's bodies as tools. And it's not so cut and dry where a guy just looks at a woman and he's like, oh, power tool, power drill, something like that.
Sure.
But it lights up the same patterns in a man's brain. Say, if they see, oh, the curve of a woman's body, if they see her wearing high heels and they happen to find her attractive. And it might not be super comfortable to have a man compliment you when you're on the street, but he doesn't always have ill intentions. And I think with this sort of witch hunt that we've gotten after Harvey Weinstein's controversy and the rise of the Me Too movement, is that people will really just take any sort of communication from a man and view it through the lens of objectification when it
Mhm.
might just be an honest compliment. And we need to kind of learn how to take compliments again. And it's okay.